Welcome back, Outlaws, to Riddles Recaps. That's the part of practice where I go over film and find some instructive moments. I've got a pretty short clip here from our tournament this weekend. I've got some principles of help defense, why it works, and how we should be switching on crossing routes. We're on defense in dark here. Just going to watch it one time through, and then I'll break it down. And that's it. We end up creating a turn, a little bit of lucky one on our part, but I'll break down how we got to this point. All right, so let's go back to the start here. And the first thing that I want to talk about is how we're going to set this up. So what we've got so far is we've just turned it on the goal line. So the offense is going to have 70 yards to work. You're going to find yourself in that position pretty frequently in Ultimate, whether it comes off sort of a failed huck, maybe an end zone rep, whatever. But we have some time as this guy's walking into position to sort of set ourselves up defensively. And it can be tempting to sort of fall asleep here, just walk next to your guy and be ready to play. But I think if you use that time instead to sort of think critically about how is this offense spaced? What could we do before the disc is even in play to be ready to make some good defensive options? So as this disc is being picked up, you're going to see we're already getting a defense set up. You'll see me here on this underside looking to jam up this break side underlane. And this only really works because the offense is sort of spaced weirdly here. They're very, very far, I think, from the disc. And that's going to make it hard for them to exploit my positioning. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a basic bracket with Earl here in the deep space. I'm basically telling Earl, hey, don't bother guarding the first guy to come down into this break lane. I've got that. And what that's going to allow us to do is we're going to stop this first cut very, very efficiently. And Earl's going to be able to maintain his outside separation here. And as a result, he can survey the field. And anything that ends up coming deep, he can switch onto and allow that person to cover the next thing in the force lane. So overall, by playing this sort of simple bracket setup, we're giving ourselves a lot of defensive options, and we might take away the first couple of looks from the offense. And finally, here the play starts. As prescribed, you'll see that this cutter comes down, and he comes out a bit wide, maybe looking for this around pass from his thrower, but I'm in really good position here to cut away that lane. And now I want to talk about this guy's options. I've just stopped his first cut, so where could he go next? If he wants to attack back inside on a counter route, I'm in pretty good position here to stop that. I've got leverage to that spot, and if he beats me, it's going to be shallow to the fore side. In general, we're pretty okay giving that up. Option 2 might be sprinting out for a deep route, but luckily, I've got Earl here in outside leverage. And you can see Earl has a really nice space advantage here. He's probably 10, 15, maybe even 20 yards deep on this guy. So any deep cut that comes here is going to be really hard to complete to the fore side just because Earl's got a space advantage. He's going to be the first one to be able to make it here. This guy's really going to have to bust his ass to get past him. So using that knowledge, we'll see what happens in the next set. As my current guy turns to go, I'm not even going to bother to defend that cut. I know that I have someone watching this whole sequence. If I end up chasing this guy, I'm just going to end up doubling up with Earl, and we're going to miss a play over here to the active side. I think in general, whenever you can, you want to pass off cuts that are sort of dead. And I think this guy is in a dead space over here because, as we talked about, his only two options are covered by defenders. Now, when I make this pass off, I can't be passive. I have to be really, really quick to change from guarding this man over here, who's now being picked up by Earl, to finding the next guy and progressing down the offense that way. So as the play continues, you notice I'm going to look for the open man, and I find him right here, and I've got a good chance. Again, his only real option is to attack down and in, and that's going to set up either a pick here, or I'm going to be able to cut off his angle as he goes shallow to the force. What's nice about this as well is I'm really far under him here, That's going to give me a lot of advantage if he attacks any underspace. And again, I don't have to be afraid of him cutting outwards here because Earl's got everything in his vision underneath. If he sprints outwards, I'm going to let Earl peck that up, and I might switch again to attack the next guy who's attacking the underside. Continuing on. As I said, this guy starts to make his undercut, and because Earl was paying attention and picked up this guy off the weak side, now I'm able to dive this route and take this away. It's nice when we can do this because basically I've been able to stand here and stop one cut and then stop two cuts without ever really having to play a tough one-on-one. We've given myself the defensive advantage by having the better spacing, having the better rhythm. Continuing on. After I stop this cut, I think this is really the most important moment of the sequence. Again, this man turns outside, and let's think about his options. So obviously, I think one of the first options is take off, right? But luckily for me, I don't have to worry about that again because you can see as Earl's been able to stay in his last back position here, there's really not a viable cut out here that can't be stopped by Earl. There might be some extremely tight window that this thrower can throw here, but the timing on that's going to be very precise, and the throw is going to have to come out just perfect, and Earl still might have a chance to see it and make that play down here. His second option might be to just clear to the stack. But again, that's going to allow me the opportunity to sit out here in the lane and see if anybody's attacking this underspace from deeper in the stack. So in general, when we're clearing from this active space, we want to be defensively aware because our guy is no longer cutting. We can look to switch or help or take away extra options from the defense. His last option, of course, is to cut again back towards the disc. But since I've just stopped him on this under route, as long as I stay in this under leverage, I'm going to have a pretty good chance of getting a stop. And even if they complete this narrow sort of pass, we're just going to be on the sideline in another great defensive position, right where we want them. So because I'm able to pass this guy off to Earl, now I can think about where's the next play going to come from. As this guy clears out deep, I'm expecting that someone will be attacking from the middle of the field down into the force. And you'll see I get a stop here by paying attention to the stack. Here we go. We have a little bit of separation created here from our defender. And that's okay because, again, we had help to this side. I'm able to stop that cut and cause this chaotic moment for the offense. We've stopped 1, 2, 3 cuts, all because Earl helped us by playing the overside and because we kept our head up, kept our vision where it needed to go, and we helped off of a cutter who was in dead space. And as a result, we get a little bit lucky with a miscommunication or a missed throw there, and we end up getting possession of the disc back. Now, that's not going to happen every single time we do something like this, but by making the offense progress through 1, 2, 3 extra looks, we're putting more pressure on them, we're making them think harder, we might break their timing, we might break the rhythm. Overall, we're creating a lot more chances for ourselves to get blocks than we will if we just play solo one-on-one.